The galaxy was quiet in that hour, stars shining cold and far. But then a broken signal cried out across the emptiness. It was weak, full of static, but it carried fear. It carried fire. It carried the last heartbeat of a dying ship. A human patrol ship heard the signal. The crew sat in silence as the screen showed the origin. A massive alien warship torn apart, drifting without power, burning inside like a furnace. The enemy's symbol still glowing faint on its hull. For years, these aliens and humans had been locked in bitter war. Battles across systems, planets burned, fleets shattered, and too much blood spilled. No one on the patrol ship wanted to be near an enemy wreck. But the rules of space were clear. Distress signals must be answered. The captain, a man known for his stern face and steady voice, stood on the deck, his crew waiting for his word. He looked at the broken ship on the screen. Flames spilling into space from the holes, air venting like a scream. And he knew what the crew thought. "Why help them?" one officer whispered. "Better to let the fire finish the job." The captain did not answer. Not yet. His eyes narrowed. The signal repeated again, a heartbeat, faint but real. Someone was alive in that inferno. The patrol ship approached carefully. Scanners sweeping, no weapons fired. No traps detected, only death and smoke. They latched onto the wreck with metal arms and cut their way inside. The air was hot. The walls shaking, fire roaring through broken corridors. Human soldiers stepped forward in full suits, heat shields glowing red. They moved past burned alien bodies, twisted metal and shattered glass. They heard no screams, no cries, only the crackle of flame and the groan of steel. Then one soldier stopped, his visor flashing. "Captain." We found movement. The squad forced open a sealed door. Behind it, a small chamber half collapsed, smoke thick like night, and under the wreckage, pinned by burning beams, was a child. Her skin pale with strange marks, her hair glowing faintly like silver in the dark. Her eyes closed, breath shallow. The soldiers froze, their weapons half raised. It was not just a survivor. It was an alien girl, no older than 10 in human years, her chest rising weakly, her tiny hand curled against the floor. "She's one of them," a soldier said coldly. "Leave her." "She's the enemy." The captain stepped forward, his visor clearing the smoke. He saw the girl, so small, so fragile, trapped in hellfire, and for a long moment he said nothing. The crew waited. The flames snapped. The wreck creaked as if the ship itself begged to collapse. The choice had to be made now. If they pulled her out, if they saved her, the whole fleet would know. The politicians would rage. The soldiers would curse. They would call it treason. If they left her, she would die here, her last heartbeat swallowed by fire, and no one would question it. No one would ever know. But the captain's voice was calm, firm, unshaken. "No child deserves to burn alive," he said. "Get her out." The soldiers hesitated. One shouted, "Sir, she could be dangerous." "What if she wakes and kills us?" "She's dying," the captain answered. "We are not." The squad obeyed, metal groaning as they lifted the burning beam. The girl stirred faintly, a cough, a breath. Her skin blistered from heat, but alive. Still alive, they carried her out. Fire chasing their heels, the patrol ship sealed its doors. The wreck drifted away behind them, finally swallowed in a silent explosion. The alien warship gone forever. But the girl safe, lying pale and broken on a human medical bed. The crew gathered, some glaring, some whispering. "This is madness, this is suicide. She is the enemy." The captain stood tall, his shadow falling over the bed. The girl's faint breath, the only sound in the room. "She is a child," he said again, his voice heavy like stone. "And humanity does not kill children outside." The stars were silent, but the message was already moving. Across channels, across fleets, across the galaxy, whispers began. A human ship had pulled an alien child from the fire. Some called it weakness, some called it betrayal, but others, quiet voices in the dark, called it something else. They called it hope. And far away, the alien leaders heard the news. Their rage burning, their voices sharp, because they knew the truth. This child was no ordinary survivor. Her rescue would shake the galaxy. Her life would matter more than anyone yet realized. But for now she slept unaware, her small chest rising and falling, while humans watched her with fear, with anger, and with questions none could yet answer. And the captain, alone on the deck, stared into the stars and whispered to himself, "What have I done?" The alien girl lay in the medical bay, her chest rising weakly, her skin pale and burned, tubes running to her small arms, machines humming softly, and the human crew stood in uneasy silence. Some soldiers muttered under their breath, their voices sharp like knives. "Why save her? She is the enemy. She is poison," one said. This will bring nothing but trouble, another growled. The fleet will not forgive this. The captain ignored them, his eyes fixed on the child, her silver hair glowing faint in the dim light, her breathing fragile, as if a single wind could end it. His jaw was tight, his heart heavy, but his voice steady. No more words, he said. She is here now and she will be treated. Humanity will not become monsters in the name of survival. The crew obeyed, but their eyes were hard, fear and anger mixed with confusion. News traveled fast in space, faster than flame, faster than whispers on the wind. The rescue was reported within hours, first to nearby patrols, then to command ships, then across entire fleets, and soon, every soldier and every colony heard the same unbelievable tale. A human captain had pulled an alien child from fire, had carried her aboard his own ship, had chosen mercy over vengeance. The galaxy shook with voices. In human barracks, soldiers shouted, "Traitor, fool! He risked us all for a creature that would grow to kill us." In colonies, civilians argued, some furious, some curious, why save her after all they did? After all we lost, while others whispered, but maybe this means something. Maybe not all of them are monsters. On political stations, leaders stood before cameras, their speeches cold. This captain will answer for his actions. This is not mercy, this is weakness. Weakness humanity cannot afford. But not every voice was cruel. A few dared to speak differently. Scholars, priests, healers, they said. Perhaps this act is the first light in a long darkness. Perhaps it is not weakness, but strength. The alien leaders heard as well, and their rage was fierce. Their fleets roared with anger. How dare humans steal one of our kind? How dare they touch her? Some demanded the girl's immediate return. Others whispered in shadows, afraid. Because they knew who the child was, they knew what she carried. But the humans did not know that yet. For now she was only a child on a bed. And the ship was full of fire, not from space. But from within, the soldiers grew restless. Some refused to guard the medical bay. Some refused to look at her at all. "Every breath she takes is an insult to our dead," one spat. "Every beat of her heart is a betrayal," one young medic, however, stayed at her side, his hand steady though his voice trembled. He whispered to her, though she could not hear, "Stay alive, little one. Please stay alive." And though his comrades mocked him, he did not leave her. The captain called his officers. They met in the command room, their faces grim. "Command will strip you of rank," one warned. "They will call you a traitor. They will drag you in chains, then let them," the captain said. "I will answer for saving a child. I will not answer for burning one alive." His officers exchanged glances, torn between loyalty and fear, between duty and doubt, the silence heavy as steel. Meanwhile, the girl stirred faintly in her bed. A small sound, a cough, her lips parting though no words came. The medic leaned closer, and for the first time her eyes opened. They were not like human eyes, they glowed faint with silver light. Reflecting sorrow, reflecting fear. She saw humans around her, strangers, enemies, and her body tensed in terror. The medic raised his hands gently. "You are safe," he whispered. "You are safe here." But his words meant nothing to her yet. She flinched, her breath sharp, her heart racing, the machines beeping louder. The captain entered, his shadow falling across her. He met her glowing eyes, and for a moment time seemed to stop, silence pressing down. Two worlds locked in one gaze. He spoke softly, slowly. "No harm will come to you here," but she could not understand. Her people's language still on her tongue. Her voice cracked as she whispered something none of the humans could translate. Still, her voice carried sorrow. Her voice carried fear, and the crew felt it. Even if they did not know the words, whispers began again in the halls. Louder this time. "She is awake, she is dangerous. We must end this now." Some soldiers spoke of mutiny, some of silent execution, to smother the problem before command arrived. But the captain knew every move was being watched. Every whisper was being recorded. Already the fleet saw him as a villain or a hero. There was no turning back. He stood by the child, his presence heavy, his voice strong. "No one will touch her," he said. "Not while I breathe." The crew was divided. Lines drawn, friends turning against friends, loyalty against fear. But no one dared challenge him yet, not while his eyes burned like iron. Outside, the stars drifted on, silent witnesses. The patrol ship now carrying more than metal and fire. It carried a question, a dangerous question. What is mercy worth in a galaxy at war? The answer had not yet come, but all knew it was coming. like a storm beyond the horizon, and the rescue of one alien child had already shaken the fleet, had already begun to change everything. And deep inside her, the girl held secrets she herself did not fully understand, secrets that would one day turn this act of mercy into a spark that could burn or heal the galaxy. But for now she closed her silver eyes again, trembling, lost, caught between fear and faint hope, while humanity argued, while the galaxy raged, and while the captain stood alone, silent. Knowing the hardest, the medical bay was quiet. Too quiet. The hum of machines the only sound. Silver lights blinking softly, the alien girl lay on the bed, her chest rising slow, her skin pale, her small arms covered in bandages. Around her, the human crew moved with unease. Some doctors worked with steady hands, but soldiers stood in the corners, eyes sharp, weapons ready, as if expecting the child to rise and strike. She stirred again, her silver eyes opening, glowing faint, reflecting the humans around her, and at once the air grew tense. Every soldier's hand tightened on his weapon. Every medic froze, the girl's breathing quickened. She tried to sit up, but her body trembled, pain chaining her down. Her lips moved, she whispered words in her own tongue, words none of the humans could understand. Yet her tone was clear. It was fear, pure fear. "She's awake," a soldier muttered, his voice low but harsh. "She knows who we are. We should end this before she becomes a threat." The captain entered, his boots heavy on the floor, his eyes like stone. He looked at the girl and then at his men. "Stand down," he ordered, his voice sharp. "No one touches her. She is the enemy," the soldier argued, his voice rising. "Her people killed ours, burned our colonies. She is one of them." The captain's gaze did not waver. "She is a child," he said. "Look at her. Does she look like a weapon to you? Does she look like a monster?" The soldier clenched his jaw, but he lowered his weapon, though his eyes burned with anger. The girl's eyes moved to the captain. She did not know his words, but she knew his tone, not sharp like the others, not filled with hate, softer, steady, like a wall between her and the danger. Her lips trembled. She whispered again, her words weak. "Please." The medic at her side leaned closer, trying to catch the sound. "Please." Not kill. The room froze, every human breath caught. For the first time they understood. She was begging for her life. "She can speak," the medic whispered. "She knows we could kill her." Some soldiers turned away, shame touching their hearts for the first time. Others only grew harder. "If she can beg, she can lie. If she can talk, she can plot," one hissed, but the captain saw more. He saw a child who had lost her home, who had crawled through fire, who woke in the hands of her enemy, too weak even to sit, begging only not to die. "Rest," the captain said slowly. "No harm will come to you here." The girl did not understand all the words, but she understood his voice. Her body loosened, her breath calmer, though her eyes still shimmered with fear. The medic gave her water. She drank slowly, coughing, her voice faint but alive. And in that moment she looked less like an enemy, and more like a child stolen from war. Yet outside the medical bay, whispers grew like smoke. Soldiers speaking in secret. "This is wrong. Every second she lives is a risk. What if she is not alone? What if she carries something hidden?" Others nodded, their hearts hard, their minds full of hate. One officer stood near the door, listening, his eyes narrow, his thoughts dark. "If command does not order her death, perhaps we must do it ourselves," he whispered to himself. Inside, the girl tried to speak again, her words halting, broken. She pointed weakly toward the stars beyond the window, her small hand shaking. "Home. Gone," she said. "Fire. Gone." Tears filled her eyes, sliding down her pale cheeks. The medic swallowed hard, his voice gentle. "Her ship, her family, all gone in the flames." The captain's face darkened. War was cruel, but this was worse. This was a child ripped from everything she knew, left only with fear. Still, some hearts refused mercy. A group of soldiers met in shadows, their voices harsh. "We cannot allow her to stay. She is a danger. The captain is blinded. We must take action." But one soldier, younger than the rest, shook his head. "I saw her eyes. She is no killer. She is no threat. She is just afraid." His words were mocked, his loyalty questioned, yet he did not bend. The ship was now divided, the crew no longer one. Half saw her as a symbol of mercy, half as a symbol of weakness, and the girl, too weak to stand, too lost to know her fate, lay in silence. Yet inside her mind, memories flickered, flashes of the fire, her people's voices, warnings whispered before the flames, secrets pressed into her heart, secrets she did not yet know how to share. She closed her eyes again, trembling, listening to the humans around her, half kind, half cruel. And though she did not understand their language, she felt their hearts, the storm building in the air. The captain stood at her side, silent, watching his crew, watching the girl, and he knew the truth. The war outside was dangerous, but the war inside his own ship might be worse. For the alien girl had not only survived the fire, she had brought the fire with her. Not of flame, but of division, of fear, of questions that could not yet be answered. And beyond the walls of the ship, the galaxy leaned closer, listening, waiting, because all knew this was only the beginning. The enemy had been brought into the heart of humanity, and nothing would ever be the same. The alien girl slept in the human ship, machines steady at her side, soldiers still divided around her. Yet beyond those metal walls, far across space, her survival had already become fire. Messages traveled faster than ships, carried by light, carried by code. One act of mercy had turned into rumor, into story, into argument, into rage. In human colonies, where families still mourned lost fathers and sons, the news struck like a storm. In crowded squares, people shouted, "A captain saved one of them, one of the monsters, while our dead still lie in the ground." Others whispered in quiet corners, their voices low. But she was a child, not a soldier. Maybe this shows not all of them must be enemies forever. In military bases, the reaction was harder, sharper. Soldiers slammed fists against tables. What weakness is this, saving one of theirs when they would never save one of ours? Commanders sent messages up the chain, demanding action, demanding punishment. Politicians took the stage on human worlds, their faces proud, their voices polished. We cannot allow mercy to cloud our judgment. The captain's act was reckless, dangerous, a betrayal of the blood we spilled, but far from cameras. In hidden halls, other leaders spoke carefully, their voices slow. And yet this act is being watched. It stirs something in the people, perhaps not weakness, perhaps opportunity. For the galaxy was not only war, it was politics, it was power, and power fed on symbols. A rescued alien child had already become one, though none yet agreed on what it meant. On alien worlds, the shock was greater still. The news delivered in fragments. Humans pulled a child from fire. The words repeated again and again. Many scoffed, many snarled. Lies, tricks, propaganda. Alien generals pounded their fists, their voices sharp. No human would spare one of us. This is deception, a trap, but alien families, who had lost children of their own, heard differently in homes lit by dim fires. Mothers whispered, "If even one child can be saved, then maybe all is not lost." The alien leaders met in their high council, a chamber filled with dark stone and cold light, their voices clashing like blades.
"She must be taken back at once," one growled. "She is ours."
"She cannot remain with humans, perhaps she is already dead." Another sneered. "The humans lie, they play with us, we must not believe." But one elder, her eyes shadowed with memory, spoke softly. "If the child lives, if she is in their hands, then the humans hold more than a body. They hold a key, a danger or a gift." The council felt a silence, for they all knew the child was not ordinary. Her rescue was no accident of fate. She carried something within her that even she did not yet know, something that could shift the war. Meanwhile, the human fleet seethed. Messages flew between captains, between admirals. This act cannot stand. If mercy spreads, it will break discipline. If soldiers begin to question hate, the war itself may crumble. In some quarters, the captain was cursed, his name spoken with fury. Traitor, fool, dreamer, they spat. But in other corners, secret and quiet, his name was spoken with awe. A man who defied the storm, a man who remembered mercy. And so the galaxy split. Not by ships, not by guns, but by whispers. On the captain's ship, the whispers were louder than ever. Some soldiers planned in shadows. "When command orders it, we will kill her, we must, before she poisons more hearts," while others argued, "She is only a child, killing her would make us the monsters." The alien girl herself did not know the storm outside. She lay in half-sleep, her dreams broken, her memories flashing, her parents' faces swallowed by flame, her people's voices fading into silence, her own small hands reaching for someone, anyone. Sometimes she woke, her silver eyes searching, and always she found the medic near, the only one who smiled at her, the only one who whispered kind words. She could not understand them all, but she felt their warmth, and it kept her from drowning in fear. The captain, too, watched her often, Though he said little, his face carved with weight, he knew every hour brought more danger, more judgment. He knew command would soon call, and his choice would be demanded. He stood at the window of the ship. The stars endless, the war endless, and for the first time in years he felt uncertain, not about battles, not about enemies, but about what humanity itself would choose to become. Would they become like the enemy they hated, killing children, burning mercy, or would they rise, even in war, and show something greater? Beyond, alien spies hunted for the truth. Human messengers carried lies and truth alike. The galaxy itself held its breath, because all knew this single act had already cracked the walls of hate, and cracks once made could spread until even empires fell. And in hidden places, both human and alien, whispers rose in the same question: what is the worth of one child? No one yet had the answer. But all knew the answer was coming. The alien girl no longer slept all the time. Her strength returned slowly, though her body still trembled, her breath still shallow. She sat upright now in the medical bed, her silver eyes open, watching, always watching. The humans did not know what to make of her. Some still glared with hate. Some whispered prayers of fear. Others avoided her entirely as if she were a ghost, a curse walking among them. But one young soldier did not avoid her. His name was Jalen, barely older than a boy himself. He had lost friends in the war, yet he could not look at the girl with the same hate the others carried. Instead, he brought her water. He brought her food. He spoke to her in simple words. Even if she did not always understand, at first she flinched from him, her eyes sharp with fear, but slowly, day after day, she grew calmer when he came. His smile soft, his voice quiet. She even managed to repeat some words after him, broken and clumsy but human words. Water, she whispered one day, holding the cup in her small hands, her voice weak but clear, and Jalen smiled wide. Yes, water, good. You learn fast, the other soldiers scoffed. She learns fast because she is dangerous. She will use our words to deceive us. But Jalen ignored them. He only kept speaking, only kept smiling. The captain noticed too, standing often by the door, silent, his eyes fixed on the strange bond growing between human and alien child. He did not stop it. He did not encourage it either, but deep inside he felt it mattered. He felt it might lead to something more. The girl's fear did not vanish, yet she began to look around the ship, her eyes catching on the screens, on the blinking lights. She touched buttons when no one watched, curious, cautious, her silver gaze filled with knowledge she should not have. One night when the medical bay was quiet, Jalen sat by her side. He noticed her eyes staring at a small screen showing ship diagrams. She tilted her head, then traced a line in the air, her small finger moving as if she already knew the structure. Jalen frowned. You know this, he asked slowly. You know ships. The girl hesitated, her lips trembling. She whispered in her tongue, then stopped, then forced out broken human words. I know machines, Jalen blinked, surprised. How could a child know such things? Who taught you? He asked softly, but she only shook her head, her eyes lowering, as if hiding something. The next day, the captain spoke with the medic in private. She understands more than she shows, he said. She knows our ship already, I see it in her eyes. The medic nodded, uneasy. Perhaps she was trained. Perhaps her people prepare even children for war. The captain shook his head. Or perhaps she is something else, and so suspicion grew. But so did mystery. One evening, as Jalen gave her food, she leaned closer. Her voice faint, secret. They kill ship, kill all, for secret. Jalen froze, his spoon still in his hand. Secret, he whispered back. What secret? The girl shook her head, her eyes wet, her words broken. They kill. Me too, but fire. I live. Her voice cracked, fear flooding her, her hands shaking. Jalen felt a chill. He did not know what she meant. But he knew it was more than a child's memory. It was knowledge, something dark, something hidden later when the captain returned. Jalen told him what she had said. The captain's face hardened, his eyes narrowing. If she carries knowledge, if her own people destroyed her ship to silence her, then saving her was more dangerous than I thought. The crew was not told. The secret held between a few. But secrets are like smoke. They always leak. Whispers spread. Some soldiers said the girl knew things. Others said she was a spy. Others feared she was a weapon planted among them. But Jalen saw something else, not a spy, not a weapon, but a child carrying a burden too heavy. He tried to comfort her. He sat with her when nightmares shook her body. He held her hand when fear stole her breath, and slowly, She began to trust him more. One night, her silver eyes locked on his, she whispered, "You, friend," the word broken but true. And Jalen felt a weight lift from his chest. Yet behind her eyes he saw more, something she had not spoken, something she feared to reveal, secrets that glowed faintly like stars, secrets that could change everything. The captain knew too. He watched from the shadows, silent, his mind heavy. He thought of the galaxy outside, the rage growing, the councils demanding blood. And here on his ship, a fragile child carried the kind of knowledge wars were built upon. The galaxy did not know yet, but soon it would, and when it did, mercy would no longer be just mercy, it would be power. The alien girl closed her eyes again, clutching the blanket. Her voice faint as she whispered in her tongue. Words no one understood, but the look in her eyes before she slept was clear. She was not only a survivor, she was a witness, she was a key. And in her silence lay secrets that could either heal the galaxy or set it on fire again. The ship was quiet in the dark hours, the crew resting, machines humming steady, but not every man on board slept. Shadows moved in silence, whispers carried in secret corners. The alien girl lay in the medical bay, her small chest rising, her silver eyes closed, unaware of the storm building around her. She dreamed of fire again, of screams and broken metal, her small hands clutching the blanket as if it could keep her safe. But outside her door, 3 soldiers waited, their faces cold, their hearts heavy with hate. "We end this now," one muttered. "The captain is blind, but we are not. She is a danger. Every moment she lives is betrayal." Another nodded, his jaw tight. "Command has not yet given the order, but when they do it may be too late. We must act before she poisons more minds." They entered, their boots soft, their weapons hidden under cloaks. The medic on watch lifted his head, tired eyes blinking. "What are you doing here?" he asked. His voice uncertain. One soldier smiled faintly, but it was not kind. "Rest, medic, you've done enough." And before the medic could rise, he was shoved aside, his head striking the wall. He fell groaning, blood on his brow. The soldiers approached the bed. The girl stirred, her eyes opening, silver glow faint in the dark. She saw the men, their eyes sharp, their steps slow, and fear froze her. She tried to speak, her lips trembling. "Please," she whispered, her voice weak. "No kill." But the soldiers did not hear her, or perhaps they did and did not care. One raised his blade, steel flashing in the light. "No more whispers, no more lies," he hissed. Then the door burst open. Jalen rushed in, his weapon drawn, his voice fierce. "Stop," he shouted. "Step away from her." The soldiers turned, their faces hard. "You are young, Jalen, foolish, you do not understand. This is mercy for us all, it is murder," Jalen said, his hands shaking but steady enough. "She is a child, not a soldier." The tension cut like glass. No one moved, the girl's breath shallow, her eyes wide, her body trembling. Then fire erupted, not from flame, but from betrayal. One soldier lunged at Jalen. Steel against steel, the clash sharp, echoes filling the bay. The girl screamed, a sound broken and full of terror. The medic, still weak, crawled toward the alarm, his fingers bloody. He struck it with his palm. Red lights flared, sirens howled, the ship awoke. Boots thundered in the hall, shouts rising. "What's happening? Who attacked? Where?" The captain arrived, his eyes blazing, his voice like thunder. "Enough," he roared, stepping into the chaos. His weapon drawn, the mutineers froze, caught, their plan broken. "You would kill a child," the captain spat, his voice heavy. "You would break your oath." "Your honor, she is the enemy," one soldier snarled, blood on his lip. "You endanger us all for her." "We only do what must be done." The captain's voice grew cold, colder than space itself. "You speak of duty, but you know nothing of it. Your duty was to protect the helpless, not burn them. Your duty was to hold the line, not break it." The soldiers trembled, but their eyes burned still, their hate unbroken. They were dragged away in chains, their shouts echoing, "She will kill us all. She will bring ruin." The girl sat trembling, her small hands shaking, her eyes locked on Jalen, her voice faint. "You, save me." Jalen knelt by her side, his voice gentle. "Always," he whispered. Though fear still shook him, he had seen death in his comrade's eyes. Death meant not for soldiers, but for her, a fragile child. The captain looked at the medic, blood on his brow. "Are you hurt?" The medic shook his head weakly. "Only bruised, but sir, this is only the beginning. More will try." I can feel it, and the captain knew he was right. Mercy had already sparked fire. Betrayal now burned among his own crew. Hours later, the captured mutineers whispered in the cells, their voices soft. We failed, but others will not. The galaxy itself will not allow her to live. And even in chains, their hate did not die. The captain stood alone in his quarters. The stars cold outside, his heart heavy. He had chosen mercy, yet it had nearly torn his ship apart, and worse. The girl herself was no ordinary child. She carried secrets, knowledge, burdens that drew blades to her like flame drew moths. Was he saving her or damning them all? He did not know. But he could not turn back now in the medical bay. The girl clutched Jalen's sleeve, her voice trembling. They want silence me. Her words broken but clear, and Jalen felt the weight of them. She knew something worth killing for, something greater than her small body could bear. He whispered to her, You are safe with us. But even as he spoke, he wondered if it was true, for the fire of betrayal had already begun, and more flames waited ahead. And though the girl's heart was small and fragile, it carried something vast, something that might heal or destroy, and now both humans and aliens would fight to claim it, or to erase it forever. The ship drifted through the stars, silent outside, but inside it burned with tension, the crew divided, the child fragile, and the galaxy watching. The attempted murder in the medical bay had shaken everyone. Trust was broken. Whispers grew darker, and now the captain knew he could not delay. Command's message had arrived, clear and cold. Deliver the alien child at once. She is enemy property. She must not remain with you. Obey or be stripped of command, the words cut like a blade. The officers looked at their captain, waiting. Some with relief, some with fear, some with hate. At last, they thought. The burden would be gone. At last, the war would return to its familiar path of blood and fire. But the captain did not speak at once. He stood by the window, staring at the endless black, his heart heavy, his mind torn. He thought of the girl's silver eyes, of her trembling voice begging, Please, not kill. He thought of Jalen's courage, the medic's faith, and of the mutineer's rage. What was duty, he asked himself? Was it to obey without thought? Or was it to protect what was right, even if the galaxy called it wrong? In the medical bay, the girl sat upright. Her bandages still fresh, her eyes calm but filled with sorrow. She looked at Jalen and whispered, They take me. Her words broken but true. Jalen's chest tightened. He gripped her small hand. I will not let them, he said. Though fear gripped him too, he knew the order had come. He knew the captain must decide. The captain entered, his shadow falling across them, the crew following behind, soldiers lining the walls, their faces grim, everyone waiting for the judgment. The girl looked up at him, her silver eyes glowing faintly, not with anger, not with hate, but with something else, something heavier, something ancient. She spoke slowly, her voice quiet but steady. I carry secret. They kill me for it, not you. Them. Her small hand pressed against her chest, her eyes wet. Not weapon, truth. The crew stirred, whispers rising. She admits it. She carries something, some said in fear. Then she is dangerous, others muttered. But a very few whispered truth, not weapon. The captain stepped forward, his voice low. What truth, he asked. But she only shook her head, her words faltering. Not ready, too big, but one day. Peased, the silence was heavy, hearts divided until one soldier barked, Enough, sir, obey command, hand her over. This war needs strength, not mercy. All eyes turned to the captain, his face stern, his voice calm. He raised his head and spoke. No. The word echoed like thunder, sharp, final. The crew gasped. Soldiers stiffened. Sir, one shouted. This is treason. But the captain's voice cut them down. Treason is to forget what makes us human. Treason is to burn children in fire. Treason is to silence the weak because we fear them. I will not hand her over, not now, not ever. The room exploded with voices, some furious, some awed, some shouting threats, some crying praise. The crew split wider than ever before. But the captain's eyes were iron. Unshaken, he looked at the girl, his voice softer. You are under my protection as long as I breathe. No harm will come to you. The girl's silver eyes shimmered with tears for the first time, not of fear, but of something brighter, hope, fragile but alive. News spread within hours, faster than light, faster than truth could catch it. The galaxy itself roared. Human leaders raged, calling for the captain's arrest, calling for his execution. He defies command, he breaks unity, he risks us all for an enemy child, alien leaders fumed. He steals one of ours, he hides her, he plays games of mercy. Yet some alien voices whispered in secret, "But he saves her when we would not." Across colonies, across fleets, across homes, arguments flared, voices divided, some calling him a traitor, others calling him the first true hero of the age. And in hidden places, in the hearts of mothers, fathers, children, human and alien alike, the same question grew. What if mercy was stronger than hate? The captain's ship became a symbol, no longer just metal drifting through stars, but a flame, a spark that carried danger and hope together. The alien girl walked the halls now, weak but alive, Jalen at her side. The medic close behind. Some soldiers still glared. Some still whispered threats, but others began to soften. Others began to see not a monster but a child. The war was not over. The blood was not erased, but something new had begun, a crack in the endless walls of hate, and all knew it could never be sealed again. The captain stood on the bridge, stars before him, enemies behind, his future uncertain, his fate already written in whispers of treason and mercy. And yet he did not regret, for he had chosen not the easy path, but the human one, and the girl, silver eyes bright, whispered one last word to him, her broken voice carrying like music through the ship. Hope. The crew heard it, the galaxy would hear it. And though war still burned, though enemies still sharpened their blades, a seed had been planted, and one day that seed would grow. Because humanity had made its choice and the galaxy would never be the same,